Hello all, welcome to what day is today? January, almost to February, January 7th, 2022, Upstream Kubernetes marketing meeting. This is the first meeting of 2022, so welcome all. I don't see any new faces on the call.
I think I might be a new face for this one.
Yeah, Mike, Mickey, you're the new face, and then maybe James. I don't know if you've been here before, so
I've never been here before.
Yourself. Yeah. Okay.
Mickey, go ahead.
Yeah. So hey, folks, I am a PM for hosted Kubernetes solution at Oracle, and I will be the comms coordinator for 1.24 on the release team.
Nice.
So that's the reason I'm on the call today, to introduce myself and just share that we'll be working together, moving together throughout this release cycle. So nice to meet all of you.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate that.
On the note, my name is James. I'm a senior solutions engineer at JetStack. I am also the release lead for Kubernetes 124. And until we started talking to Mickey about how you needed to go to this meeting, I didn't know this meeting existed. So I figured I should probably come along and say hello as well. And I don't know if I'll come along to every single one, but I thought I'd at least come by and say hi. So hello.
No, we appreciate you coming by. We have tried to have shadows on the release team in the past, but that hasn't always worked out. Well, it has worked out, I think, until this release. Do we have a shadow, or Deba, Ray? Either one of you working on this release?
Not.
That's fine. No worries. So thank you for joining us. I should remind everybody before we even get any further, this call is recorded. The CNCF code of conduct applies. Basically, please be nice and respectful to each other. Don't do anything your mother would shame you for. That's how I put it. Because I will call your mom. I will find her and I will call her and tell her. Anyways, so updates, big wins. Meet our contributors. That went out. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's out, and we need to send comms regarding it. That's it. But I think we have to wait because the website is not yet live. Like in KDev it's live, but in Kubernetes website not live yet.
Okay, we want to send it out from the Kube blog. Makes sense. Higher traffic. Yeah, totally. Awesome. Do you need any help with that? Is that going okay? Should be.
Yeah, it's like I will draft a tweet and send it to you, so you could just put it out after this thing is done. Or maybe we could do it on Monday because the dates on the blog are on January 10th. But it's live today.
No pressure. Yeah. Cool. All right. The great work on that, by the way. I know that took a long time to get together, and I know it took longer because of the holidays, so thank you for bearing with me. There's a SIG multi-cluster blog PR. Do I need to sign off on this? Because I know I reviewed it.
Actually, I created a PR because I know probably you had some things going on. I didn't want to poke you too much. I shared the draft maybe a month ago with you.
Yeah, I went through it. So.
Okay. So other than that one comment, I didn't find anything else. So I tried to get as much information from the audio and video and the transcripts and try to put it in the blog. I had to trim a bunch of stuff that we say like and and think and but glad finally the PR is there. So from now on then it's only text to text.
Yeah, basically I did something different for this one and it did not work, right? Like take a note. Doing a Zoom call and just recording it and getting a transcript afterwards is not the best way to do an article, right? So ask your questions via email, much easier to type them. And copy and paste the answers out. But I mean, feel free if you want to do like an in-person interview and then use that transcript as text, that's fine. But it didn't really work that well for us this time.
Right. But all good.
Yeah. Awesome. Anything? Oh, Twitter automation is or should be ready to go. We need something to tweet to test it. So maybe Monday we could figure out what that is, or after the meeting today. But yes, it turned out that nobody on this team had the permissions needed to make the change. So that has been fixed. Caslin and I both have perms. I can add others as we see fit. But yeah, you actually need to be a GitHub like admin for that repo to actually change it from master domain, which Bob thought I had, but I didn't. So yeah, George had it. Not helpful for us though. So yeah, that's fixed. So let me put that down.
There's a new Docker shim blog out today. I think that's a good one to test out.
Yeah, totally. That'd be great. Especially because I contributed to that blog. So I don't want to write the tweet for it though. I will say that. Someone else can have that PR if they want. But yeah, use the issue template, like go through the whole process, make sure it works, please.
And out of curiosity, how does the Docker shim blog that was published today differ from the previous ones?
This one includes a lot of additional data around the survey we sent out, I think.
Okay.
Let me double check real quick. I have it open in a tab somewhere, I swear. But yeah, it being the first post of the year and everything, like the data we got back from the survey was like, we're not ready. Like no one's ready. So we needed to have some more of that drumbeat going. So we reminded people of the deprecation timelines, our next steps, where the FAQ is, if this is the first time they heard about it, the whole 9 yards, right? Like, because this is something that clearly we have to communicate more of. And like, I would almost go for a weekly tweet, like, are you ready for Docker shim replacement? I mean, like, I'm almost to that point because, even internally here in AWS, like there's a lot of our customers that just aren't ready for it. So we're building some tools to figure out.
Are they just emotionally not ready for it, or do they really need?
No, like they're still using like the Docker mounts and stuff. Like that's the big one is mount.
Yeah.
Docker, right? Docker. Like, yeah. So that's the challenge, right? Is like getting people to understand what Docker shim really is. It's not just Docker, right? Like it's this hacky piece of code that we're removing, and here's the impact of that, and here's what you need to do to replace it, kind of deal. But yeah, that's kind of it was more of a synopsis of the survey and kind of getting that info out there, and then letting people know where to go for help. So like Signode and Kubernetes Slack, that kind of thing. So yeah, like we should totally tweet that out and have it burn up the internet like it should. If it doesn't, we'll make it happen, kind of deal. So yeah, I don't have the notes up. Hang on. Cool. So new items. Hey, the release team's here. How best should we work together? Especially you, Mickey, because I don't know what your workflow looks like, but as you're doing things and if you want help, how would you like to engage us?
Yeah, I think that's a great question because I don't necessarily know the answer myself. It has been suggested that I join this call, I think, at least 3 times throughout the release cycle. What are those 3 times is the question. I wrote it down on my calendar.
Okay, so I could add some background to that. Those 3 times.
Got this.
One is the first week of the release cycle is to introduce yourself. A second time, so part of the release process now, we've added part of the handbook, is that we're going to release a blog right after code freeze or the week of code freeze that's going to say what is being deprecated, what's going to be removed in this upcoming release. So I suggest meeting probably a week before that, so we could send a tweet about that blog. We'll get that ready. Then also a week before the release, just to highlight any feature blogs or actually tweets about the release itself that's coming up, and also any feature blogs, especially about deprecations and removals to be that's going to go out right after the release.
That answers that. So I will see you at least 2 more times this cycle.
Yes. And you can always engage us by hitting at contributor comms.
I just joined the Slack channel. So
yes, but this is like a Slack group.
Gotcha.
Most of us. So like you could be in any channel and say, hey, contributor comms, we need help with this.
Okay,
And
sounds good.
off we come running,
Is it worth asking your shadows, Mickey, to attend this meeting? Kind of the ones that you don't do, just kind of have them drop in.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to do that.
I don't know if Chris having a shadow kind of here most meetings would be nice, just to kind of ask a update. Might be good for the shadows as well.
Yeah, if there's anything that we can do to help during the process, right? Like proofreading, tweeting.
Well,
whatever
Deba, unless you're not the right Deba, you're one of my shadows, right?
Yeah, I was not speaking because it was not asked. It was asked not to speak.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you were a shadow. So my previous statement about trying to have a shadow on the release team always is false. We do have
or already successful even without putting any effort in. There you go. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Apologies. Sorry, I didn't realize either. I've not met everyone yet.
Yeah, so that's handy and that works out. So it sounds like no matter what, we'll have somebody on this call on a weekly basis.
Awesome. Yeah. Debbie, you know how to engage us better than anybody.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else release team wise? I mean, you're here. Any other questions about what we do or anything else?
No, I think I'm pretty clear with it.
Okay.
But I'm glad that we're actually going to coordinate this a little bit more this release cycle.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to tighter integration with the release team as we release things. It's a feedback loop. We need to just keep it strong.
Yeah.
So if you're deprecating anything serious, it's best to get out in front of it early. That's the one thing I will tell you. Don't let PSP be the example that we repeat. Because it was funny. I was writing a blog post, or I was writing the introduction to one of my newsletters about PSP deprecation and how a customer at Red Hat had just finished implementing like stacks of PSPs. Like they're a big hospital. It took them years to get it done.
Yeah.
Now we're deprecating it. So it's like, holy smokes, there's still people using it. Yeah. So getting in front of stuff like that early is best. And we've kind of burned our fingers enough with that to know how to go about doing it a little bit better. I swear there's like a career in crisis communications for me at some point. So yeah, that's my big thing. Anybody else got any tips or tricks for the release team? Cool. All right, campaigns in progress. Check Twitter automation. Anything else? I mean, Docker shim things out the door. Any new items? Let's look at the board real quick since it is a new year. I have that open, I swear. It won't load. There we go. All right. Meet our contributor blogs and review. Request internationalizations. Oof. Refining the way we communicate deprecations, wide-reaching changes to the project. Yeah, milestone 123. Well, okay, fair enough. Rewards and recognition umbrella issue. I think we can close that, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, I'll check with Paris. But yeah, we got nothing in progress right now. So if folks on the call know anybody that is interested in getting involved in Kubernetes, doing a SIG profile is a great way to get started. get your name out there, get some recognition, get your PRs and, you know, commits and such like that. So this group needs to market itself a little better, maybe. You know, as funny as that sounds, right? Like we're out here, we're here to help all contributors of all stripes, right? Not necessarily your company, but if you're a contributor and you want to get something out, this is the venue, or a venue. Cool. Anybody have any ideas for the new year?
Ideas for the
For anything coming up? Any, yeah, like
so
anything
KubeCon
we
EU
want
is, we still have some time for KubeCon EU, right? Like, is there anything that needs to start like way early for that?
not necessarily from this group, but SIG and Tribex in general. Yeah, we're already kind of, are we meeting? Have we met? Yeah, we've definitely met. We have the space reserved. We have 2 rooms reserved at the venue. One has like some round tables kind of deal, like we had if you were in LA at the Contributor Summit, kind of like that. Just big round tables with lots of chairs. And then the other room holds like 175 people ish, I think, with COVID protocols in place. So, you know, we don't expect a lot of people, but a contributor summit or even just like a, you know, hangout hack on stuff, the kind of thing will happen. There will be no virtual component. We know that for sure. After the contributor celebration, that didn't go that great. It was just kind of a flop, to be honest with you, right? Like, so, you know, everybody's kind of, especially after KubeCon, I feel like everybody was burned out as it was for the folks that went, and everybody that was on the celebration team went to KubeCon, it felt like. So it was like pulling teeth to get stuff done, literally and figuratively almost, because you're dealing with the holidays, you're dealing with, you know, all the stuff you normally deal with that time of year. Oh, and let's launch a celebration and try to do bake-offs and stuff like that. It just wasn't happening. So yeah.
And everything within COVID protocols.
Yes.
And within masks.
Yeah. I mean, it was all virtual, and we did most of it in Discord, and it's just kind of meh. I mean, yeah, our usual suspects were there, but it wasn't a lot of newbies, if that makes sense, where normally events like that are heavily attended. At least last year when we did it, or year before the last when we did it, it was heavily attended, but we just didn't have a lot of participation this time. So we've got to, like, you know, based off reading, non-tech reading that I do, we're still in this pandemic. A lot of people thought that we wouldn't be here this long, and people are kind of realizing it's year 3 now of this stuff that we're beginning, kind of deal, you know, 2020, 2021, 2022. So I wouldn't mind seeing a blog just going to community members and asking, like, how are you helping contribute during the pandemic? Right? Like, I think that would be a great idea, given that, you know, a lot of people need to figure out, like, all the stuff they did for the pandemic originally in 2020, like, they need new stuff now, because you have some greater mobility, but you're still kind of stuck with the logistics of dealing with the pandemic. So, I mean, if we needed an idea, there's one. I'll write that down. Let's see. New items, maybe. How do you spell cope? Cope, C-O-P-E. Yeah. Yeah, I won't get too verbose. Cool. All right. trying to think. What anything we have from last time we need to go back over? Oh, how is the Katacoda scenarios? Are those done or I forget?
Yeah, it's done. I just even I also forgot about it. Thanks for reminding. We need to send comms regarding it also. It's all prepared and it's all ready. Just we need to send comms. That's it. Like Katacoda is working fine. I was working on presently I'm working on the website part, to teach the new developers how to set up website on their own local system, because most of the folks who are contributing to documentation, and the major issue they face is setting up the website locally. So I'm working on that part at presently. But yeah, the basic part of setting up Kubernetes in the local system, that's done for Linux users. For Windows, it's still there's no scenario for Windows users in Katacoda. So I'm figuring out if we could make a customized scenario for that.
Wow. Do you have a Windows box? Do you need
I have
one?
that, but at present, I am confused how to implement it in Katacoda, the scenario. There is no native scenario in Katacoda that supports Windows.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
Didn't think
So
about
we
that.
have Kubernetes Playground. We have Ubuntu scenario, which is the Linux part, which we just did the tutorial on. But there is no Windows scenario, the WSL or something like that. There is nothing present.
Who owns Katacoda these days? Is it O'Reilly? Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Okay. Let me, you know what? I'm an O'Reilly partner. Let me reach out to my contacts over there.
Oh,
I'll
that
CC
would be nice.
you on the email.
Yeah, cool.
Partners at O'Reilly, and then Deba. I should have your email in here. I don't. Okay. I'll grab it from Slack if it's in there. Yeah, let me put that down as an action item at the very least. If I could find the browser window I had. Gotta go to Windows. Is anybody else interested in following along with that conversation? I'll CC you. But yeah. Cool. All right. 30 minutes. Anybody got anything else? Wonderful.
All good.
Awesome. Cool. So I will stop the recording. We can work on other stuff after the fact. Feel free to stick around. But farewell, everyone. Have a safe 2022 if this is the first meeting you're watching. And we'll see you soon.
Nice to meet you guys.
Likewise.
Nice to meet you as well.